Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Marshall, and I worked as a social worker, but I'm currently an entrepreneur. And so I want to share with you about an incident that recently occurred, but I'm currently still going through it because today I found out some information that was very disturbing, and it makes me really question just society, right? And even explains probably like one of the reasons as to why I even made the choice that I did, which was to, more so pick the path of entrepreneurship and representing myself as opposed to, seeking, in a sense, like support from entities in whom we believe have our back, but we come to find out that they don't, or we believe or we have hope that they do, but ultimately when it boils down to the root of it, it's a facade. And so I wanted to share with you a recent situation that has occurred with me regarding my experience. And, sadly to say, my cousin has actually she went to two different universities as she was pursuing her, she's a nurse, but she was pursuing, becoming like a doctor. And she currently is no longer in school because she ran into some difficulties along the way. And I want to share with you my experience while I attend Liberty University, and I'm currently still attending it, and I'm in the PhD program. I only have 2 more classes until I am pretty much starting my dissertation. And up until this point, I would say I was having a great time, but maybe that was because I didn't have my profile picture. Who knows? And to be honest with you, I went to my master's program. I went online again, and I remember when I did post the photo, it felt weird, so I switched it back and I did not have a photo. But, I felt comfortable at Liberty because I hadn't had any issues. I'm almost done with my program. I have a 3.7, but it's probably a 3.8 because, I did retake a course due to me, going through an experience and I needed a break. And I retook the course and I end up, getting an A. So my GPA is probably a 3.8. So I'm saying I've been getting all A's in my classes, and again, my experience has been great up until this point. And I want to share with you light on what has happened. And if there are any lawyers who are able or who practice in, I guess, the region where Liberty University, like that is your region, I would love an opportunity to speak with you. I mean, I feel like I can represent myself. I love being able to speak the facts, especially when it's my story. I don't really like people putting words into my mouth. And honestly, this situation even went up to the United States Department of Education because I reached out to them. And you know what's sad, Department of Education? I'm going to start with the ending because my last email to them was me asking my attorney, and I will read it to you guys. As a matter of fact, I will allow you guys to see that. The last email that I sent to my attorney regarding the situation, and this is what I said. I said, I said, I hope you are doing well. I'm writing to further discuss the outcome of the investigation regarding my grading dispute with my professor to address additional concerns that have arisen. I left you a voicemail earlier and would greatly appreciate it if you would give me a call back. Mind you, I sent this email to her on Monday, and she has not called me back or emailed me, she emailed me today at 10:11. And that's why I'm actually now filming this, because I was very saddened by the outcome. But let's continue on. I'm disheartened by the outcome of this case, as I feel that my concerns were not fully addressed. I will read it. I'm going to actually just read it like this for you guys. I feel that my concerns were not fully addressed, and I'm left feeling unsupported. It seems that the issues I raised, including the violation of my privacy and the evidence of targeted treatment regarding assignment submissions were not taken seriously. I would welcome the opportunity to speak with you further about this. Number 1, misrepresentation of the 0 grade reason. As mentioned previously, the document claims that my professor, and I say his name, feedback indicating that my response included on March 29th, the professor graded the complaint's second discussion thread assignment, stating that she received partial credit because her reply consisted of a continuation of her own initial post rather than a new response to a classmate's discussion thread. The professor also informed the complainant that replies must include a greeting identifying the classmate to whom it is addressed. First of all, that is not correct. And let me explain to you. I'll take you into the chat right now. So, let's go. Okay. So, this is my, I'm going to show you. This is the chat room, you guys. This is my initial response. This is the one in question. And I will even, let's go back to the assignment real quick. I mean, I'm going to try to hide people's like information, even though, and that this, I'm going to tell you guys how this story just takes even a turn for just the worst, right? But, okay, so this is the one in question, right? So right here, this is week 2. I changed my picture. As you can see, as you can see, week 1, perfectly fine, perfectly. I changed my picture. This was his thing. I'm going to try to cover his name. Okay, it says, Ashley, unfortunately, you do not have a reply. You did a continuation assignment. Furthermore, you cannot reply to yourself. You must reply to another student in your class and do so with a kind and respectful greeting. Moreover, the reply must respond to what the other wrote in their narrative/first post. You must agree or disagree with what the other student said, but you must give logical and cogent response. If you are not sure, then read some other post. Okay, now let's actually go to what the assignment was. So we're going to go right here, right? Let's see it. So this was my original post. As you can see, it's completely different. These are the questions. Actually, let me take you to the actual chat, right? So this is a grade book. So he can clearly see that this is my initial. It's due the 28th. I submitted it this time. And then this is my reply, completely different. The 27th at 7:54. And this response is due there. You're supposed to do a summary, agreement, disagreement, improvement. As a matter of fact, you're supposed to do wrote their narrative first post. You may agree or disagree with what the other student said, but you must give. See, he don't even know the directions because I followed it to the T. Summary, agreement, disagreement, and improvement, right? Okay, let's go to the actual chat room now, all right? And I'm going to show you the directions too, along with the rubric, right? So guys, look. Okay, those are the questions that I originally had to do. And then let's look at the instructions. Okay. 7 short answers, right? The answers must demonstrate, So minimum word count for all short answers are 200 words. And then for this one in particular, this is a different one, it has to be 600 words, right? The student must then reply to one student for the short answer and 2 replies for this one in particular. Must reply, summarize the student's finding, and indicates areas of agreement, disagreement, and improvement. I was right? Okay. Now, let's go to the rubric again. So let's go down. Now, I'm going to scroll down, and I don't want you guys to look at my other classmates, but you will see that this right here is a classmate's that I responded to. Okay, let's click on it. What does that say, guys? That's that's the same thing that I wrote. Mind you, how many words is it? I looked it up. I followed this, it's 232. Okay, mind you, when I first reached out to my professor, What was the first thing that I sent him? Good morning. Da 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 da. I hope to see da 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 da. Because I didn't understand, right? Why? Again, let's go back to what my professor said. Oh, but guess what? So after I did all that, right? Because mind you, this situation got worse, right? I sent him, I sent the teacher a copy of it. This was their response. In a way, you're right, but you likely inadvertently put your continuation in the reply section. I suggest you delete your post and post in the reply section and wait until the reply is due. Do you know when the reply was due? The reply was due on Easter. That's why I wrote, okay, so I'm explaining to him, right? You know, because I went back and I went to double check to make sure what I did was, you know, right. Everything was correct. So I didn't understand what he was talking about. And I even mentioned, is there like a glitch or whatever? And now he's changing his answer. And I have I have the whole report. But long story short, there was an investigation at the school, and I already knew. Mind you, during this whole conversation with my teacher, something told me, Ashley, collect all the information, make sure you document everything and you copy, because at some point, and there's stuff missing on here too. There's things missing on here, okay? But at some point, I didn't have access to this anymore, right? So they did the investigation, but even when I was on the phone talking to the person that was doing the investigation, I could tell he was trying to blame me, right? Okay. Continuing on, they did a week. It took a week, and then it came back saying that, you know, that no, Dr. Dan, whatever, they're gonna be going with him, right? This was what their I'm gonna share with you. It says, listen, I'm gonna show you what the outcome. Oh, let's read it, okay? This is what the outcome of it was. Okay. Miss Marshall, good morning. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me last Friday after our call. Sorry, thing. Here's what I found, right? I'm going to read it for you guys, okay? It says, as for your discussion board assignment, I reviewed the March 29th email exchange that you had with Dr. Daly. In one of the messages, Dr. Daly noted that he considered one of your posts a continuation of your main post and not a reply to another student. He suggested that you post an appropriate reply and wait until the reply was due to post. I also noticed that on the same day, the professor advised that replies are due the following week, but one may reply sooner. I asked the professor to clarify this, and he explained that students are free to complete coursework at their own pace and are allowed to work ahead a schedule. For discussion replies, students would be able to reply soon, as there are 2 other students who had submitted their initial posts. He noted that he will still accept your replies if you post them in the discussion area, or if you attach them to a message sent to him within this platform. Did I not just show you that was the first message? As a matter of fact, let me show you how many times I sent. Right? And I'm at this point here. Let's go. So I sent it to here. Here again I sent it, right? You can click on my response right here. You go and you can download it. Boom. And there again too. But I sent it to him through this portal, like they asked me, right? I sent it to him the first time, and we're going back and forth because his answers are changing as far as what first it wasn't, you know, I didn't make a reply because it says no response. It doesn't say that, you know, he's taking points for what I said, because my response to my classmates completely different than what I wrote. And I have proof because I have not only the physical document, I have the evidence of the pictures online and what I showed you, right? But also the rubric. What he told me in the comment section is not even what the rubric says, right? You see his directions. Continuing on, then you saw what the Peter investigator said, that I needed to send it through the Canvas. Did I not show you that I sent it to him twice? His answer kept changing. Mind you, the professor even gave me instructions that were incorrect, that he wanted me to follow. If I followed those instructions, my assignment would have not been submitted, and it would have justified why I got a 0. They did the week investigation. They closed it out. Do you know what this professor does? He's passive aggressive. Guys, Google my name, Ashley Marshall. Google my name, Ashley Jasmine Marshall. My name does not come up. Google Ashley Jasmine Marshall or maybe Ashley. So look, I'm gonna do it with you guys, right? So let's do it now. So Ashley Marshall. Okay, those people come up. Let's do Jasmine now, right? Jasmine. Okay. So somehow he knew my middle name. That is weird. And I spell my middle name with no E. How in the world did he? What the heck? So the reason why I'm saying this is extremely weird, because at some point in the time throughout the course, this professor sends me this in one of my assignments. Excellent analysis, Ashley. Check out one of my former students of mine. You may find this interesting. And he sends me one of his former students that's an Olympian. Isn't that so funny? Right? So you knew that I ran track. Somehow you knew my middle name, and then you're sending me pictures of your past students after this investigation, and I know that it was that I followed the instructions and that you guys are playing games. And then guess what? So I then go to the United States Department of Education. A joke. Now, I called them and I thought I was getting relief, right? Because the woman, she picked up her phone, because actually prior to me going to the United States Department of Education, and that's what I say, like, what is going on, society? What is going on? Prior to me going to the Department of Education regarding this situation, I went to other lawyers. I was talking to them, and do you know that even though I had proof, they were like trying to discourage me. It was almost like I couldn't, in a sense, prove it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is terrible, because if things are transitioning to online, and we know that racism still exists, come on, right? And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is how bad it is, because I'm also calling out the board, the ASWB, right? Because how can you have such huge statistics regarding a clinical exam where you have 83% Caucasians pass and only what was the statistic? I think it was like 45%. And then second time pass, it's like 12%. It decreases significantly. But this has been a common thread over the years. And then people say, well, it requires a different way of thinking. Well, that just goes to show, right, that there's a certain mind. Because even the Department of Education, let me tell you what they came back to me with now, even though I had all of this evidence. And at this point, I would love to go to court. So if my professor sees this and would love to take me to court, I would love to go to court, because I know I will win. I know that I will win. So what they came back, so the Department of Education gets involved, right? Now, the person who does the investigation, even the attorney who's involved, zero. No one has ever called me. Mind you, I wrote all of the information. Mind you, I have nothing but proof and evidence for everything. I can back up everything from the instructions, from the rubric, because we are graded on the rubric. Mind you, this professor had asked me to submit my assignment, right, the day that it's due, which was Easter. And even when I'm emailing him on Easter, right, he's taking time because he's busy. But I also have plans too. You get what I'm saying? And see, this is the issue. But anyways, continuing on, right? Because like I said, and that's what I'm saying. I thought I was able to submit my assignments when I could. But you clearly saw what he had asked me. And although he's not saying it directly, look at all the things the ways that he's moving, and they're not calling him out on these things. And see, this is how people get hurt, right? This is how, the sexual harassment cases start. This is how the sexual abuse starts, with these little things, because they get away with it. And this professor should be ashamed of themselves, because this professor has many different titles in that whole umbrella of Christianity, the MBA, it was, or not, it was like some, it's like, I can't remember the exact titles of it because I'm not interested, because clearly it's fluff. Because look at how this person, look how I'm being treated. Let me go back to sharing with you what the Department of Education said, and then I'll explain to you what my, what I told them. Okay, so, okay, so they came back with me with the letter, right, regarding the investigation on the 7th. Okay, so mind you, this took place back in March, and right after this took place, that after that Easter Sunday, I don't know, I believe maybe the Monday the office was closed. Tuesday I filed my whole, the investigation and all that stuff took place, and it had concluded within a week. And then from there, that's when I called the United States Department of Education, and then that's when they started with all of this. But they just came back with their investigation, and this is the letter. Let's look at the letter that they gave me, guys. Let's look at it and see if they also too did not address any of the concerns regarding him sending pictures of African American woman student to me. How does he know my middle name? How does he know that I run track? How does he know these things? Because I will show you that only 3 people did an introduction in the introduction discussion. Let's see. Let's go. Oh yeah, class. See, look, 3 replies. And guess what? None of them are me. And we don't talk about those things. None of these assignments required us to talk about our personal business. This was a business statistics class. I'm going to quickly show you how none of those people were me. Okay? And I have evidence to back this up as well. Okay? So there's no way that that professor would know that I run track and be sending me students of, people of his former students. To me, that's passive aggressive. And I responded in a friendly way because, to be honest with you, people are not all there in the head. Gang stalking is real. Guys, we are in a spiritual battle. Hence the reason why that professor would even major or study spiritual topics, because it's that significant. But I just think it's very interesting why all of these evidence, I showed you guys the facts. I showed you guys these things. When is it appropriate for him to send information about myself when I never disclose these things? Please, someone tell me. Going back to what they came back as the facts, and again, you tell me if they address anything regarding the professor sending pictures of other students and doing outside investigation regarding myself. Because if you research my name, Ashley Marshall, a black girl does not come up. If you research Ashley Jasmine Marshall, maybe. But there's nowhere on none of my information in my class. And let's go on my class, right? My account, right? Nowhere, right? How do you know my middle name? Let me see. Ashley Jasmine Marshall.